If you guys only knew how long I've wanted to make a video about this lens, and I mean, like, it's probably been about 4 years. And the problem that I had with trying to make videos with this is mostly due to me feeling like I didn't have enough experience with it, and I feel like I didn't put it through its paces enough. And at the time, this was the only lens I was using to make my YouTube videos. So trying to talk about a lens that is already on my camera and trying to, go further into it just kind of felt redundant to me. So now that I have other lenses to do videos with now, I can sit back and talk about this great, affordable, first timer lens for anybody that is trying to get themselves into video or trying to work on do something for making their short films with. I can definitely say this is a great start off lens for anybody that is getting into that. This lens is the SLR Magic Micro Prime Cine Lens, and here are my thoughts, kind of like a review or whatever you want to make this of just my overall experience with this. So let's talk about it. Now, there are a lot of things that I do want to talk about with this lens. However, I wanted to keep this video very contained and straight to the point. I just only want to talk about build quality, image quality, and how much it actually costs. I feel like for people who are in the market looking for certain things, those are the only damn things that they actually really care about. And it's mostly good things about the lens that I have to talk about, less than the issues that I have with the lens. And there are a few issues that I have, and I will express that like later on in the video, but it's not that much. Overall, like I said, it's been a great lens for me. And the one thing that I do want to talk about is the build quality of this fucking tank. It is literally a tank. Sometimes I sit back and I think to myself, why don't other companies make lenses with this type of material, this type of metal? But then I realize not everyone wants to have metal lenses just click clacking all around in their bag, and it just adds an extra amount of weight to just whatever there is they're carrying. So I completely understand why not, but it is a great tank of a lens, and you can feel the weight of it the moment that you have it in your hand just by itself. Like, just having it here, it feels like a good 3 to 4 pounds on this lens. However, what is some kind of crazy magic is that you do not feel it too much once you have it attached to your camera. I think the moment you start rigging your camera up with a whole bunch of other stuff to it, then you start to feel the weight of the lens leaning you forward. But I mean, if you work out and you have like crazy stuff lifting crazy stuff more than this, then you probably don't have a problem lifting a whole rig with that lens on it. As far as cosmetics wise, the paint does kind of rip off a little bit. That's if you're just tossing it in your bag or placing it everywhere else. I'm very careful with my stuff, so I don't really have an issue with cosmetics. I feel like stuff deteriorates over time anyway. And as far as the rings go for the follow focus and everything like that, they're relatively smooth. But the one cool thing about it is that it will not like move on its own if you accidentally bump into it. It has like this little smooth push and not just like clicky. It would have been nice to have the T-stops to just have a click to it, but that's just my personal preference. But the lens is very smooth. You won't have a problem with you knocking it away or anything. It is great with a follow focus as well. And the one thing that I feel, if depending on how you shoot, this thing might seem like it could get a little bit too loose for you. But overall, a great build for the lens. It is also a great for the rings, the focusing rings. They're really great. They do feel kind of stuck and everything when you are rotating them around. But overall, I would definitely use this in a zombie apocalypse, because it is, I would literally tie this to like a string and just swing the rope around and feel like I'm David from David and Goliath if a zombie apocalypse was to come around. this would be my fucking weapon. And I can't just go on enough about like how I think they just should, for a limited time, bring like metal lenses back, because this thing is a beast. And that's the one main thing I do like about it. I have dropped my camera before, and my camera, the X-T4, it it pretty much shattered the back screen, but it also fell on its side when that happened, and the lens just made it seem like, I wonder what happened. What was that small little shake that just happened? So this lens is a great tank. You won't have to worry about it getting any dents or anything unless you're tossing it like 40, 50 feet in the air. But yeah, great lens, great build quality. Let's go on to the image quality, because I feel like that is like literally one of the best things about this lens. Now, image quality with this lens is very beautiful. And for what I do personally is just YouTube videos, sometimes for like editorial stuff. And if not that, I'm using it to make my short films. And the one thing that I do like about it is that the lens is a good lens. However, it has drawbacks for each situation. What I mean by that is the lens gets very sharp during like a daytime kind of thing, or where it has enough light in the room. Now, once you get to like T4 or T5.6, we automatically know you get sharp images when it comes to that, and this lens is no exception of that. Once you get down to about T2 and 1.6, I have the 1.6 version of the lens, which is a 21 millimeter, which is an equivalent of maybe like 32, 35, somewhere around there. You can honestly see the softness around the corners of your image. Now, that is not a bad thing for me, but it can get too aggressive. It depends on how are you using it. And the one thing is that you have to remember, this is a manual lens. It's not something that is wrong with anything, but you could definitely see the what am I trying to say? You can definitely see the softness in your images. Now, certain people have a way of doing that creatively, and certain people do not. And some people might find it a problem, some people won't. And for me, it wasn't a problem, because I never go that far down in the stop or anything. I usually just keep it at 2.8 or go to 4 or 5.6, just so I can get almost everything within my image. But the actual upside to that is, if you are going to be at T2 or T1.6, it does very well in low light situations. And I have not shot a lot of stuff in low light, outdoors or indoors, but the little stuff that I have used this lens with in low light, it has done a very good job. That softness kind of just goes away, and not to the point where it makes the scene or whatever it is that you're filming completely sharp, but you can still be able to see some type of sharpness once you go down to those two stops on this lens. And the other thing is, the breathing situation is pretty slow to a certain extent. It's like medium-ish slow, but it's very, very quick as well. So it's not like a huge problem for me personally. If you have a problem with that, then it's up to personal preference on that point. And I do not have any type of like demonstration on that, because I don't really do a lot of breathing when it comes to a lot of the times my camera is like stationary, and sometimes I either have it in my hand and I don't have time to just do this and do that and do this. But it is a great lens for imagery, for whatever it is. It gives off a great vintage type look to it. But overall, I love the lens image quality. If I'm doing anything as far as like video or anything, I don't think about my 16 millimeter that I have for Fujifilm. I always think about this lens first when I end up doing something as far as video wise. You can get a great movie like quality look with this big fat ass beefy son of a bitch. It's great for the things that I have done over the years, and I love everything about it. And the images that you see in, they're all just in regular Rec 709 and nothing as far as like any type of like halation or enhancements or grain or anything like that, because I wanted to show you just how it actually looks without all of that stuff extra edited onto it. But yeah, that went on a little bit longer than I expected it to be. So let's just go and finish the video and talk about everything else. So yeah.
And action.
So I talked about build quality, I talked about image quality. The one main thing as a customer, like myself, I always see all the shiny bells and whistles, but I always say, how much does it fucking cost? And when I got this lens, I think it was about like 445, 450. That's pretty cheap. They have different variations from the 15 millimeter all the way down to the 75 millimeter, if I'm not mistaken. And they all range within that price range. I think the highest one goes up to like 600. That is about it. They are really great for just how it's crazy, just how the build quality is, the image quality for that price. You would think this lens should be up to about 1500, like the rest of those other lenses that other people talk about, and it's actually not. For the price that it is, it does have slight drawbacks, but overall, out of the 10 things that you could say about this lens, only 2 things you could say bad about it. If not to a certain person, it'd probably just be one thing, and that is great in my opinion. If there was one thing that I forgot to add, is that this lens also comes in various mounts as well. I have an X-T4, which comes in an X mount. They also have some for Sony, Canon, Panasonic, etc. And you do not need an adapter in order to attach this lens to your camera, which is another good selling point that I liked about it as well, because I've seen so many different cinema lenses that you need an actual adapter to attach to your camera. So I just wanted to add that. Hopefully that is a bigger, reason for you to try this lens out as well. But yeah, let's get back into the video. Wonderful lens, great image quality, great affordable price. And I feel like if you are a beginner trying to get into doing video and trying to work on doing stuff with more manual lenses, or if you're a director and want to work with manual lenses and stuff like that, I'd highly recommend going this route. There are other lenses out there that are this affordable. I've never used them before, so I can't really talk about those. But for this brand, yes, it is very good. I'm actually not sponsored to do this video or anything. This is from my own opinion. Like I said, I bought this lens. They didn't send this shit to me. It would be actually kind of nice if they did send me the other ones. But we got to work our way up to there. So yeah, the SLR Magic Prime lens. If you do have one of these, let me know how your experience has been with them, or if you had a bad experience with them. Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to be the end of the video. I hope this is not like a long ass video. I'm so sorry. I'm like trying to get my bearings back and getting into doing more videos and doing more content and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to go eat because I feel like my soul is slowly withering away into the darkness of the abyss that I call my stomach. Have a good day, good night, or whenever you're watching this. Bye.